Jamsin Entertainment.
Hello and welcome back to another prep work. This is for Star Trek Beyond. Now this year is the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, and that is a lot to recap. Fortunately, these two movies that came before this, Star Trek the movie and Star Trek Into Darkness, are part of the Star Trek universe, but they are separate from what came 50 years prior. So, if you want to catch up on Star Trek, stay tuned for TV Tuesdays on Star Trek. They'll be down the road. And stay tuned for throwback reviews of Star Trek movies. One you won't see me review is Enterprise. I haven't personally watched it. My mom, who got me into Star Trek, is a huge Star Trek fan. I mean, she has Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Star Trek figures. Yeah, those exist. She says the continuity is all but lost in Enterprise. And I'm not going to watch something that does a poor job of telling what happened before Star Trek Classic. So, for real Star Trek canon, you watch Classic, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. And then the movies are tied into them, even though they're more like extended episodes of Classic and Next Generation. It's all awesome though. All recommended if you love sci-fi and want something a little more logical and science-based with some action. You'll love Star Trek. Star Trek the movie is a beautiful remake and reboot recasting of Star Trek Classic. And the way they make it their own is by having the main villain, Nero, played by Eric Bana, come in to the past from the future. He's a Romulan, through a singularity that's created by this red matter. It creates small black holes that somehow it rips the time continuum and they come back. And it opens up with him running into the USS Kelvin. And that's where you get introduced to Captain Kirk's father, George Kirk. The captain of the ship, I don't think they ever give the name, goes and parleys with Nero, because Nero is looking for Spock. He blames older Spock for destroying his planet Romulan, which was Spock's intention was to save it with the red matter because their star was going to go supernova and he was going to use the singularity on the supernova, but it was too late, and there's Nero's motivation, revenge. So the captain of the Kelvin goes and parleys with Nero, but it's a trap. Insert Star Wars joke. Because he can't give him the information he seeks, he kills the captain. And then George Kirk becomes the very brief captain of the Kelvin. On the ship is his wife and unborn son, James Kirk. And in an action-packed, really heartfelt moment, even though you don't know these characters for very long, it grasped at my heart. I shed some tears each time I see this because it's so well done. Chris Hemsworth plays George Kirk, and this is before it became Thor. But you can still say that Thor is Kirk's father, and that's why Kirk is so awesome. So in last-ditch efforts, George says to evacuate the Kelvin, and his wife makes it to a shuttle safely, and she's going into labor, and he's still on the bridge. He sets the computer for a collision course for Nero's ship, because he thinks that's the only way that can possibly take him out and give the passengers and the crew enough time to escape. And that's the heartfelt part. The conversation between him and his wife, and him hearing his son scream and cry for the first time because he just got born. It's a really beautiful, really well done scene. It's just a great start to a movie. It cuts away to a few years later where Kirk is a young boy and he steals. I don't know if it's his uncle or it's his stepdad, but he steals this classic convertible. And they don't go much into the details about it. So much so where he passes someone when he's driving, and you later, I think it's in the special features, you find out that it's his older brother. In all honesty, this part it's not really needed. It shows how reckless and courageous and adventurous Kirk is, what he's willing to do to cheat death. Cut to years later where Kirk is an adult, and because his childhood wasn't all that great, he doesn't really do much with his life. He just goes to the bar and gets drunk. And on this night, he runs into a bunch of Starfleet Academy students that are just trying to have fun, and he meets Uhura for the first time, and he immediately hits on her, being Kirk. Kirk is, for lack of better term, a man whore. And they really show that, at least in this film. So he hits on her and he tries to buy her a drink, and her fellow cadets come over and say, "Are you having trouble?" She said, "No, I can handle this." And he's so drunk that he starts a fight with them, and to break up the fight, Captain Pike comes in. After Kirk comes to, because he gets knocked unconscious, Pike talks to him, and he has a data pad with him, and he's looking over his academic record, and he's amazed. This young man is just doing nothing with his life, and he tells him about his father, that he was on the Kelvin when it happened, and he dares him to be better than his father, because his father became a legend in just a short time that he was captain, and he dares him to do better. And Kirk, being an ambitious person that he is, and the loss of his father, how he wants a connection, sees an opportunity, and he joins the academy, and they go off on a shuttle to San Francisco. And before that, while they're on the shuttle, he runs into Bones. Carl Urban is a spot-on Bones. Like I said, this is a perfect recasting, because each person that's been recasted for this just does a brilliant job of fitting their character to the T. They must have watched the series before and just saw what needed to be done to not only bring back the nostalgic feeling for older fans, but to bring in new fans too. I won't give too much away. The story is Nero terrorizes the galaxy, and it's up to the crew of the Enterprise to defeat him. And at the end of it, there's two Spocks. You got Old Spock and New Spock. Leonard Nimoy and Zach Quinto. And Zach Quinto, again, perfect recast. Star Trek Into Darkness is a remake of Star Trek Wrath of Khan! I couldn't resist. The difference being in this one, they explain Khan's past. In the original, they just talk about it briefly, but they go on the audience's memory of the episode Botany Bay, where Khan is introduced. This one, they explain that back in the mid-90s, humans were genetically altering other humans to become superhumans, and these superhumans not only had super strength, but super intelligence, and they decided to take over the world that was the eugenics war in the 90s, according to Star Trek timeline. Khan was a prince, as he calls himself in the original, in, I think, the Middle East or somewhere like that, some part of the world. And the way the non-genetically altered humans defeated them was that they captured them and put them in cryogenic sleep. And now it's years later. Khan hasn't aged much at all, and he's back to, well, I guess galactic dominance, or it's, well, and revenge for being trapped for so long. For the most part, it starts out doing its own thing. It's really cool how they introduce him and how you see Khan work the Star Trek crew, but you also see Kirk work Khan a little bit. But Khan still has a one-up on him, just in strategy. They do take a lot of scenes and reverse scenes from the original, where the original still is better than this one. This one is a good remake, but they could have gone all the way making it their own instead of just some of the way, and it would have been an even better film. And this one is the first time you see Klingons, and they look pretty cool. It's like a mix of classic and then from Next Generation on. And you see how awesome Khan is, how strong he is, because he takes out an entire squadron of Klingons on his own. The only one that comes close to his strength is Spock. And Spock does the Vulcan nerve pinch, and it doesn't knock out Khan like that, like it knocks everyone else out. It just really hurts him, and it's pretty cool with the pretty cool fight scene. I highly recommend watching Star Trek the movie and Into Darkness. I can't wait for Star Trek Beyond. Now, some of the controversy with the new films. I personally like what J.J. Abrams has done with the new films. This one has a different director. I'm not sure who it is, but J.J. did produce it. The controversy is that these are too action-packed. My brother likes to say that he made it too much like Star Wars, and it's not supposed to be like Star Wars. And for some reason, he doesn't want new fans to come in. He only wants it for the old fans, and that I don't agree with that, simply put. And I thought it was just him for the longest time, but no, it really is split down the middle. You have people that don't like it because it's too action-packed. It's not completely Star Trek. And then you have the other half, which is my half, that absolutely love it. That it has a lot of Star Trek in there, and it has just enough action to make it even better. And this weekend coming up is just packed with awesomeness. I'm seeing Star Trek Beyond Friday, and then Sunday I'm going to see Planet of the Apes in theaters. Yeah, I'm going to check out more Fathom events, because I've seen Planet of the Apes, but I've never seen it on the big screen. And my parents are like, it's an experience. It's going to be completely different from when you watch it on the TV. I can't wait. And it's the original Planet of the Apes, not the Mark Wahlberg one. The original Charlton Heston one. Get your filthy paws off me, you damn dirty ape! I can't wait. And then immediately, the next day, another Fathom event. It's going to be Batman the Killing Joke. I thought I wasn't going to see it, but because of the scheduling at work, I'm able to see it. It's a temporary schedule change at work, but it works out because I got to come to the cabin and have fun here, and I'm going to be able to see Star Trek Beyond on opening night. I'm going to see Planet of the Apes. I'm going to see Batman the Killing Joke for the one night it's going to be in theaters. It comes out next month on Blu-ray. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Tomorrow on Writing Wednesday is more about the alien race, Dojin, I'm writing. Again, I'll address in that video possible solutions for you to be able to download and read everything I put up so far. I'm really looking forward to your feedback on what you think. Throwback Thursday, it's still a surprise, and sorry, still don't know what I'm going to do for Friday. If you like what you saw, like it. If you think other people will like it, share it. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned.
Live your imagination.